All right, so today Pepper, my friend over here, who just wants my mic, we're gonna give you some tips about getting accepted into PA school. Some things that I wish I had known, but now that I'm a more seasoned physician assistant, I know about these tips, and they can really increase your chances. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. I don't want to waste your time, and Pepper just really wants my mic. So, all right. So here we go. So the first thing is that PA school is very competitive. Everybody wants to be a PA, rightfully so. It's a great career choice, pays pretty well, the work-life balance is good, things like that. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is to look up new programs in whatever state that you're in and apply to those programs because these programs are new and not a lot of people know about it. So that means not a lot of people are going to apply to it. And then some people also have this idea that, the PA school should be established for a certain amount of years for them to be going to that program, which is really not true. Honestly, like most of the stuff they teach you in PA school, you can learn it on your own with a book. There's so many sources these days. The clinical rotations do matter, and the new programs can have a little bit of an issue with placement and things like that, but they're going to get you placed. They're in that spot for a reason. And typically, these new programs are also more accepting of lower GPAs and lower stats in general, and sometimes don't require a lot of patient care experience. So it could be a really good option, whether it be as a backup option or as a main option if you're a weaker applicant. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day where you get your degree. As long as you get that PAC after your name, that's all that matters. Nobody ever asked me what school I went to or things like that. And applying to more schools is actually another way to increase your odds. Honestly, the more schools you apply to, I know it's very expensive, but if you feel like you have all the requirements and you are a pretty strong candidate, I would apply to as much schools as possible. It could save you a whole year. The second thing is you pretty much want to increase your odds, right? So any sort of requirement that kind of stops other people to apply to that program is is a benefit to you if you can meet that requirement. So one thing that comes to mind is the GRE, right? So I studied for the GRE for about a week, and really all you need to get is over a 300, which was very easy to do, and I was able to do it my first try. So it's just like a check in the box for those schools, and they don't really care too much about your GRE score. It just weeds out those other people who are lazy to take the GRE and increases your odds. So along the same lines of taking the GRE, I know that some schools nowadays have this PA CAT. I honestly don't know too much about it because it didn't exist at the time that I was applying, but I'm assuming that it's a standardized test that's pretty much a check in the box for a lot of schools, and kind of same thing, it just weeds out more people who don't take it and allows you to apply to more schools. The third thing, and moving forward, are going to be a little, more specific and small things that you can do. So the first thing that comes to mind is there is certifications like ACLS, BLS, which I think you need, and then PALS, PALS. So ACLS is Advanced Cardiac Life Support, PALS is Pediatric. So these certifications literally take just one Saturday, you know, and they're so easy to get, but not a lot of people have them. And when the school sees that you have those certifications, it just looks good. The next thing is shadowing hours. And I remember when I was applying to PA schools, I had a lot of trouble finding the right people, to ask to shadow them. And honestly, now that I've been a PA for 3 years, the easiest way would be to look up private practices in your area and try to get the email of the PAs there, or even MDs. It really doesn't matter who you shadow. And just send a nice, thoughtful email to, like, call it like 20 of them, right? And at least one or two of them will get back to you, and you'll be able to shadow them. And hopefully, the more you shadow like different specialties, the better it looks, because it shows that the programs that you're doing your research and you kind of are trying to find what specialty or area of expertise is right for you, and it makes a really great impression. The other thing about shadowing is that it's a good way to get letters of recommendation. So when it comes to letters of recommendation, I would recommend that you get one from a professor or a teacher that knows you academically. You should get one from a PA that you've worked with or shadowed, and then you should try to get one from an MD that you have worked with or shadowed. The great way to do it would be to work as like a medical assistant or a scribe at a medical clinic, and that way you can get those letters. I have a few other things that I'm going to try to keep brief, but pretty much the one thing that comes to mind right now is your science GPA. So if while you're waiting to apply to PA schools, what you can do is, let's say, for example, if you took microbiology in your undergrad and you got a C, you can retake that microbiology class at a community college and try to get an A, which will improve your science GPA and give you better odds. The next thing is volunteer hours. Honestly, I don't like working for free. Maybe later on in my life when I'm older and I have a lot of time, I'll volunteer for fun. But at this point in my life, I'm pretty busy and I don't really like to volunteer. But it's, again, one of those things that most people have. So you got to have some hours. Even if you get 20 hours, I think that's going to improve your chances. The last thing is having a strong personal statement, which there's a lot of tips online about how to do that, so I'm not going to get into it. But having a strong personal statement without any errors, like grammatically, is very important. And that's pretty much all the things that come to my mind at this point about increasing your chances. At the end of the day, it's a game of numbers, and the more school you're able to apply to, and the more broadly you apply, the better your chances are. And the truth is that PA school nowadays, and even when I was applying, is very competitive. I didn't get into PA school my first cycle. I got waitlisted at a couple of programs. And if that happens to you, just don't lose hope. Keep trying. PA physician assistant career is very, very rewarding. And I'm very happy with where I'm at in life right now. So just keep pushing. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll try to answer it. And I'll wrap up the video here. I'll see you next time and take care.